All right. Good day, everybody. It's Mika Vahkala here, and I'm here with Akseli Ratamo from Salo, Finland. Good afternoon.
Hello.
What's going on? It's May already and summer coming. Is it a summer holiday ahead or what are
Yeah,
your
it's
plans?
coming. It's not yet. Now it's just a weekend.
All right. And let's go straight to the point here so we can talk about COVID stuff relating Finland, and this can also be related to many other countries in the world. And what we're gonna talk actually here more closely, you have been making quite a survey on the COVID policies and how the government was doing.
Yeah, pretty much. So my story is that I like to study things and I like to put my findings in a like source. I collect sources and then I save them. And sometimes I do like presentations for my own fun. And now that I'm in the politics, now I'm showing the showing the presentations to people. And yeah, already at the start of the pandemic, there were many government documents that were really suspicious, and I started collecting them. And yeah, I made a presentation about it that there's quite a lot of funny business going on with the COVID pandemics overall. And this is my presentation about my findings. And I think we have many English listeners, and they probably don't know the Finnish government's policies. So this has to do a lot with the Finnish government policies. But I have also sources from the CDC, so the Americans health department, and UK and Germany. But
Yeah, a
yeah,
lot of lot of things been going on. Can you tell a little bit more of your study background, like what you have studied in the university or otherwise, and work background, if you
yeah,
can?
so I'm an IT tradenomi. So I have studied IT and the trade as a combined study in AMK. I don't know what it's not the university. I don't know what's the uh,
It's the University of Applied Sciences.
yeah, that one. Yes. Yeah,
Yes.
that's my background. And yeah, maybe I show how the presentation is done, and let's start from there. Or do you want anything else to note?
Yeah, so we will have the topic for this video is going to be the Finnish COVID-19 narrative. Uh, uh, oh, sorry. Behind Finland's pandemic policies, evidence of behavioral manipulation. So we're talking this Finglish here, so it's
Yeah,
funny.
yes. I guess you can see the slides that I'm sharing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. So yeah, I'm providing evidence for behavior manipulation. Definitely, yes,
Are you sharing slides right now?
yes.
I don't see any. Oh, wait, it's maybe on the. Now I'm seeing. Yes, now here. Yes.
Okay. So um, 90% of this presentation was made before 2022. So keep that in mind that there are many statistics from 2021 and so on. So, but there are a couple of updated slides from 2023, but I will note them. And all slides have direct sources. And actually, about the sources, I will publish the sources in my Substack after this presentation, so anyone can verify them. So, for example, if I say that German's law index says this and this, I can click this image and it directly opens the German law index. But the Substack will have all the sources directly. So no, yeah, everything is sourced uh, with actual government links.
And what is your Substack that people can find you?
Akseli Ratamo, it's my own name.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on my own name also on Twitter, so there you can also ask questions.
Yeah. So you are not with the pseudonym or some fake name,
No,
fake
no,
names.
no.
No.
I came out with my actual name because you cannot be with the pseudonym in politics.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. You have to be real you.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, from my point of view, we can start.
Yes, let's go.
Yes. So, pandemic. According to the World Meter, by 2021, 200 million COVID cases and 4 million deaths. And according to the European Union, 1.2 million deaths in Europe. And WHO says that 3.4% of the infected will die. So the death rate is 3.4. And the Finnish public broadcasting company is saying that it's almost like the Second World War, that people are dying like in the Second World War. So we need solutions, vaccines, masks, restrictions. But do you know how the COVID infection is tested?
So you're asking me.
Yeah, this is an interactive
Interactive
presentation.
talk. Yeah, so they were doing this PCR test and
Yeah,
they are running it with different cycles there and the PCR is not made for diagnosis of any sickness.
yeah, exactly.
And they amplified the number many times, so they made it look like there is something.
Yeah. So yeah, you explained exactly right. So this is the imaginary virus RNA that we are looking for in the PCR test, and then we take some sequences that the PCR test is not looking for the whole RNA. It's just taking some of the sequences that we believe are known to be only at the COVID-19. And then if it finds these sequences, then can you see my mouse?
Yes.
Okay. Then it says, yeah, you have COVID-19. And the multiplication, as you said, is that, how to explain it, that you multiply the sample 40 times. So first it's one DNA sequence, then it's two, then it's four, then it's eight, then it's 16, 40 times. So we are in the billions. And here is the head of the CDC, so Anthony Fauci, explaining something about the PCR cycles. This is the 40 cycle threshold that are used in COVID tests.
Evolving into a bit of a standard that if you get a cycle threshold of 35 or more, that the chances of it being replication competent are minuscule. So that if somebody, and we have patients, and it's very frustrating for the patients as well as for the physicians. Somebody comes in and they repeat their PCR and it's like 37 cycle threshold. But you almost never can culture virus from a 37 threshold cycle. So I think if somebody does come in with 37, 38, even 36, you got to say, it's just dead nucleotides, period.
Yeah, from the horse's mouth, you cannot use 40 cycle threshold, but somehow, for some reason, it was demanded from the COVID tests. And already in December 2020, WHO made a notice that there are too many false positives in the PCR tests, that the PCR test is unreliable. But still we continued with it. And in the Finnish THL, the Institution of Welfare and Healthcare chief, admits that the PCR test will not tell you, are you sick with COVID, or do you have just a positive PCR test? Because that's two different things. And already in January 2020, there was an international report with many professors saying that the PCR test for COVID-19 is a fraud. And they outlined many problems with it. The first one is that the RNA sequence that we are looking for is a computer simulation. Nobody has verified by 2020 is the RNA sequence that we are looking for, does it only exist in the COVID-19, and we just believed what China gave us a computer simulation. Then they said, yeah, this is the RNA sequence for COVID-19. Go and look for it. So, and there was not a positive control test. So that's already very brain dead, that we are looking for a virus that is a computer simulation. The RNA sequence we have been provided is a computer simulation, and we didn't test this person has COVID-19 and this person doesn't have COVID-19. Can we differentiate them with this PCR test? And they also say that over 30 cycle threshold is fraud. And some COVID tests say 45 cycles. Like the Finnish THL says that they are using 45 cycles to test COVID-19.
Yeah, and this THL is like a Finland's Health and Welfare Institute.
Yeah, exactly. So the CDC,
So-
the same as CDC in America.
Yes.
Then,
That's unbelievable. Like they are admitting that they are doing with this 40-45 cycle.
yeah, exactly.
And then it's proven that it's not supposed to be done that way.
Yeah. And already this is one of the newer updates. So 2023, HUS, so the Finnish capital's healthcare district, made an announcement that the PCR tests are not, you cannot, they don't produce quantitative results because you cannot, God damn it, what is vertailukelpoinen?
Like you cannot
Comparable.
really compare them.
Yeah, the tests are not comparable between each other, and they don't produce quantitative results because you don't know if the RNA exists somewhere else also, and you don't know if the virus is alive because you have so many threshold. The cycle threshold is so high. So they just said that yeah, all the statistics of how many COVID cases, that's bullshit. The Finnish capital's healthcare district officially made that announcement. But still we collected them and everyone needed to be locked down because of the how many cases there are. So then, this is trick question. How do we know that the vaccines work if we don't have a way to verify if you have the virus?
Well, it depends on how you define how they should work.
Yeah, that too, but the trick is a bit simpler. Because if you are vaccinated, then you are supposed to be tested only with 28 threshold. So this is the official guidance for the testing of the COVID-19 from CDC, and the vaccinated are tested with a lower threshold than the unvaccinated.
So in other words, if I understand this right, so they're trying to make it so that if you vaccinate it, so the PCR test will likely give you the result that you don't have COVID.
Yeah, exactly. The RNA sequence that they are looking for is found a lot less times if you are multiplying the sample a lot less times. So that's how you get it to work.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah, there are two different tests. So then the claim that there's 1.2 million COVID deaths starts to sound quite like meaningless. If the results, if the test doesn't produce any quantitative results, how can we say that there are 1.2 million COVID deaths according to the European Union?
Exactly.
Yeah. Then the WHO revised their original 3.4% death rate to 0.2% already in October 2020. So the WHO said in 2020, this is not any deadlier than the flu.
And then the vaccines came.
Yeah, yeah. But like the this situation is so comical that they said already at the start of the pandemic that this is not different than a flu. And
Yes.
if you are under 70, your death rate is 0.05. So it's less deadly than the flu.
Yes.
And this is the Finnish THL, again, the Finnish CDC version, their own fact sheet from 2020, that 90% of people who died from COVID are over 70 years old. The median age of death is 84, and I believe the median death age in average is 81. So if you have COVID, you could say that COVID increased your lifespan because people died like later than the median age. Most over 95% had other illnesses. COVID pandemic has not resulted in any excess deaths over the normal rate. And by the 2021, we had officially nobody had died through COVID who were under 30. But still, we closed all the schools and everyone needed to be under
And
quarantine.
this was 21 or 22, 2020.
Yeah, I believe this is from 2021.
Yes.
Yeah. I have the direct link for this graph also. There you can see the date, but the date is not in this picture
Yeah.
now.
Nobody under 30 died of COVID, and then take the vaccine so you can get back to normal.
Yeah, exactly. And oh, yeah, this is the here THL's official data.
Yeah.
This is also yeah, there we have this time slot. So this is how many have died in almost 2 years. This is end of the 2021, and 1,600 people have died from COVID. And at the moment, there are 46 persons because of COVID in ICU, in the intensive care unit. Keep that in mind. For example, how many die yearly from alcohol?
Let me guess.
Yeah.
I would say in Finland, 5,000.
Not that much. Around 1,600 die from alcohol yearly.
Okay, sorry, the inflation.
Yeah, yeah, but so they had twice the number of COVID deaths from the official data die from alcohol poisoning yearly.
Yeah.
And how many die from influenza?
I think like nobody almost during
Yeah.
COVID time, officially.
This is a bit the title of this slide is wrong. It causes around 500 excess deaths yearly. So it's not as simple as how many die from alcohol, but influenza causes for around 500 excess deaths yearly. So it's a bit different counting, but still, we are less than around the same numbers as COVID. And then we have the Finnish National Pandemic Preparedness. Blah, I don't know how.
Preparedness.
Yeah, thank you.
Something
From
like that.
2012, where they say that the threshold for a mild pandemic is 3,450 yearly deaths. So we are 4 times under this low threshold with the COVID cases. Then what about the collapsing healthcare systems?
Hey, can you go back to the last one?
Yeah.
The threshold. So I think, it says like the flu shots program that there is an estimation of 35% of the people will get sick within 8 weeks.
Yeah.
So I don't think that means like the whole year. It's like an 8-week period. It's calculating there. I'm not sure, but I assume. I may be wrong. I don't know.
It doesn't say, but well, if
It
it's
says
an 8
here.
week or year, both didn't come through.
Yeah. Yeah, both didn't work out. Yeah, even if it was per year, but here it's
Yeah.
oletusarvona 35% väestöstä sairastuu 8 viikon aikana.
Yeah, it could. Yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
It's talking about 8 weeks.
But either way, there was not even mild pandemic. There was no pandemic.
Yeah. What about the collapsing healthcare systems? So this is a German statistician who wanted to debunk. His friends said that the pandemic is a scam, and he said, "No, no, it's real. I'm a statistician. I can easily prove it." And then he went to look. He went to look for the German official health statistics, and these are the COVID waves. The red one is the COVID wave, and the blue one is how many people are at the ICU beds in Germany. So he saw that how many COVID cases there are, have nothing to do with how many people are at the ICU. So then he started to wonder what is going on, and he found out that there is a law. They made a special law in November 2020 called the Section 4 Special Regulation Hospital Financing Act. And the healthcare districts lose their funding if they have free beds over 25%. So if, let's say you are a healthcare district that has 40% free hospital ICU beds, then you lose your funding. You lose your funding if the situation doesn't change. So you need to create you need to create an a situation where you have more beds occupied than in reality is, or your funding is cut. But as we see, it didn't happen so. As we see, the COVID waves didn't change any bed occupancy. So let's see if you remember. I told you this mystery already before we had this meeting. Do you remember? Let's say now you are the healthcare district boss, and you need somehow to create the situation that you have only 25% beds occupancy, beds free, but in reality have 40% of the beds free. What do you do?
You make some kind of magic move.
Do you remember what it was?
Uh, yeah, slightly. Please tell.
Okay, you don't want to guess.
Yeah, I don't want to guess. It maybe goes wrong.
So this is the green. Green is how many ICU beds are available, and the blue ones is how many are occupied. And this is Starnberg's hospital district. When the law came into effect, the free beds disappeared. So there was no change in how many people are occupied in the beds. Like this, the white one is the COVID cases. The COVID cases didn't have any. People didn't went to ICU because of COVID, but you had the law that you lose your funding if you have too many free beds. So the hospital regions had the only options to take the free beds away. And then the free beds magically jump around when there are more people at the ICU, more beds come back, and when more people are less people are at the ICU, the beds disappear again. That they reach that they can only have 25% of free beds at minimum, and that's like absolutely bonkers that this happened. But it happened in every German hospital region. So this is the Goslar hospital region. The drop is more dramatic, and then is Eisenach also everywhere. And this is how they created the hospital crisis in Germany. There was no hospital crisis.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
did
Manipulation,
did you see have you
complete
seen the
like
dances?
misleading the public.
Yeah, but have you seen the dances, the healthcare dances?
Yeah, some of them, yeah.
Yeah, let's show a bit.
Do you have the voice?
Sorry?
There is no voice.
No voice.
Yeah.
Really strange. But the other one, the Fauci video worked.
Yeah, it was okay. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Well, there you don't need the voice, there's just the music playing. But
Yeah.
people who have not seen it,
And this is from Germany.
no, this is from all over the world. This is a compilation
Yeah,
from
yeah.
all
Yeah,
over
yeah.
the
Right,
world.
right.
Yeah, it would have been more fun with music, but if we don't, let's not play it more than if you don't hear the music.
Yeah,
But
there is no voice. Yeah.
the 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 whole world healthcare systems were dancing because the hospitals were empty. And there are many videos, actually, I didn't include them in this presentation, but there are many videos when people go just to record the empty hospitals. There are nobody there, nobody at the ICU, nobody like, I think in Finland also they closed many that you cannot go to the päivystys.
Yeah, like emergency care.
Yeah, that you cannot go there because COVID.
Mm.
And they were all empty.
Mm.
And this is the Finnish Krista Kiuru, Finnish government official, said in 2020 that we will put 1,000 ICU beds. So the normal capacity is around 300 ICU beds in Finland. And they
Mm.
said that they will make 700 more. Then almost 1.5 years later, the same official is saying, the same minister is saying, help, help, the healthcare system is collapsing, that we have only 7 ICU beds free from the 1,000 she added. No, she added 700, but she is claiming in the news that now from the 1,000 ICU beds, only 7 are free. But as we can see from the THL's official data, there was only 42 ICU beds occupied. So this is the minister is blatantly lying.
Yeah. Liar.
Yeah.
Liar. Liar.
Here we can see almost the same date, like couple of months, 1 month later, only 46 people are at the ICU, according to THL.
Mm.
Then the vaccines. You
Wonder
probably have
working
seen
vaccines.
it's 95% effective claim everywhere. You remember
Yeah.
those? Can you now hear it?
Yes.
Okay.
Saada koronarokotteen. Rokote antaa nuorille erinomaisen suojan vakavaa tautia vastaan. Koronarokotteet ovat käyneet läpi kaikki tutkimusvaiheet ja niiden turvallisuutta seurataan tiiviisti. Rokote on vapaaehtoinen ja maksuton. Jo miljoonat lapset maailmassa ovat saaneet rokotteen, joka vie meidät kohti vapaampaa elämää.
So this was an ad from the THL, had many claims, but it was targeted towards children, that if you are over 12-year-old, you should take the vaccine. It has passed all the tests, and it's free, and it's safe and effective, and it brings us back to the free.
Yeah, back to normal. Hey,
Back to
can I
normal.
interrupt you a little
Yes.
bit? Do you now when you are recording this, do you see our face on the thing? Because I only see this presentation here myself.
Yeah, I can see you too. I can see
Yeah.
our faces.
Yeah, I cannot see I can only see the presentation, but it's good if you see both of us because when people are watching this and if they only see the slides, it's not gonna be good. But if they see some interaction as well, so
Yeah.
it's
Yes.
better.
Yes.
And I think we should do this in Finnish as well. Now
We
when
can
we
do it
go
in Finnish. Yes.
we can do it in Finnish, but let's go now in English.
Yeah. Yeah. So there are quite many lies that the THL is spouting to the children. They claim that it's safe and effective. what do we know about mRNA vaccines? Do you have any? What do you know about mRNA vaccines? Have they been used any before?
Not really before.
Yeah,
And they were really fast. They were given this emergency use authorization.
yeah, exactly. This is again from the European Commission's website. No
From
vaccines
the
has
hellhole.
yeah. No vaccines have been licensed before mRNA vaccines. This is totally new, unproven technology. And EU Commission explains that it directly instructs our DNA. But there are no finished COVID-19 vaccine studies, none by the 2022 when this was made. The earliest vaccine studies are finished by 2023, and even the Finnish capital's COVID FAQ is explaining that we don't know how long the vaccine's effectiveness lasts. But how can you say it's tested if you don't even know how long the protection lasts from the vaccine?
Yeah. Can I ask you? So
Yeah.
the Pfizer, they made this post-market authorization data. It was done late 2020 and early 2021, and then there is like reports of the many injuries coming to people and stuff like that. So was that not like the study on the like a phasing trial of the vaccines, or how is that?
Mm, ask again.
So Pfizer, they made this post. Let me see from the una momento. Because this was let me see.
Well, we can look it afterwards. I have a couple of explanations about the tests.
Oh yeah. But they made this post-market authorization data they released, and it was released after the court in USA. They were able to get it out. They were wanting to hide it for 75 years.
Yeah, I remember that one. But
Yeah.
that happened
Is that
after
a different one than what you're talking right now?
Yes, I think this is a different one
Okay.
because that case happened after this presentation was made, so I don't have that included in this presentation, but I have the claim saved, yes. So
Okay.
this is the British Medical Journal's meta study, October 2020, where they are looking at all the vaccination studies that are going on, and they say that there are no studies going on that tell us if there is any reduction in the hospital administration or use of intensive care units, or does it lessen deaths. And nor are the vaccines being studied to determine whether they can interrupt the transmission of the virus. So no vaccine manufacturer tested, does it reduce hospitalization, does it reduce deaths, and does it reduce transmission? By
Yes.
2020, there were no studies at all going on to prove any of those. And they explain that you are qualified in the study as a COVID case if you have mild symptoms, so positive PCR test and fever, then you are counted as a COVID case. And they explain that there were 40,000 participants, and 160 to 150 from unvaccinated got cough and fever, and only 8 got cough and fever from the vaccinated group. So this is the claim what the media is using, that it's 95% effective, because from 20,000 unvaccinated ones, 160 got fever and positive PCR test, and from the vaccinated ones, only 8 got fever and positive PCR test. This we don't know if they used again the same trick that they used the lower threshold to test the vaccinated ones or not. But that's how you would get, of course, the lower rate, or just by happenstance or fudging the numbers. But anyway, this is the only big test. That's what was. This is one of the biggest COVID tests. And in the media, they are talking about relative efficacy. And this transforms in the media that 95% are saved from death. But the absolute efficacy is that it reduces runny nose in the population by 0.7%. And nothing else was tested.
And can you explain to people what is the difference between relative efficacy and absolute efficacy?
It's this one, that relative efficacy is 8 divided by 160. Then you get 95% efficacy. That's the relative efficacy. And when you look that, it was from 20,000, from 160 from 20,000 got the runny nose. So that's the absolute efficacy. Oops. Then the Finnish public broadcasting company is explaining about the SARS mRNA vaccine test back in the day, that there was a problem every time they have tried that. That this article is explaining why we have not used mRNA vaccines before. And they explain that always when we vaccinated the test subjects, so the animals with the mRNA vaccine against SARS, when they injected SARS into the animals, so that they got sick with SARS and they wanted to see if the vaccines work. The SARS virus attacked the vaccinated more than the unvaccinated one. So all the mRNA vaccine studies have backfired, that they create more powerful reaction to the virus. And that has not changed to this date. And we don't even know if the mRNA vaccines change our DNA. That's also, maybe we should study that before we inject all the children with it. But something interesting that we have now already from the 1990s, because the mRNA studies have been going on for 30 years without any success. But we know that you exhale the vaccinated mRNA when you breathe out. That mRNA vaccine spreads through exhaling and inhaling. And that's something that we have known for 30 years. Now we come to the interesting stuff. Have you heard of U-kirjelmä 39/2020?
I see it. I think I have seen it circulating sometimes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you have come across it. So it's a EU Commission's proposition to the Finnish Parliament that, hey, we propose this, and please accept the vaccines. They're directly in the EU Commission's proposition, they call the vaccine takers test subjects, and we don't know does it have any adverse reactions, the vaccination. Does the vaccination have any adverse reactions? And it directly also confirms the thing that people exhale the mRNA to the unvaccinated. The test subjects could create spread the vaccine to unvaccinated and cause unknown side effects and create new pathogens. And yeah, that sounds very good for the Finnish government, and they accepted it that let's make the whole Finnish population as test subjects, and let's see if it just happens to create new unknown pathogens.
Yeah, this is unbelievable. Like it makes a one who takes the vaccine like a factory producing more COVID.
Yeah, or the mRNA sequence from the vaccine.
Yeah, wonderful.
Yeah. So all the mothers and parents who took the vaccine exhaled them to their children. Did the government officials protect themselves and the families against the vaccine adverse reactions? That's a quite funny thing that they hid the government official protection against adverse reactions to the law for government officials having governmental official trips. And they made that if you are vaccinated and get adverse reactions, you can get 4 million euros, and it also includes your family. So that's very strange that why they made a special law in the government official trip law to protect themselves against adverse reactions of COVID-19 vaccinations and included their family inside.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
This is so wrong. This is
Yeah.
so wrong.
Yeah, sounds good, like a good deal, and the Finnish government happily accepted to vaccinate the whole Finnish population.
Yeah.
Then, how many doses of Europe? So Finland didn't buy any vaccines. European Commission bought all the vaccines for the whole EU.
But Finland has been paying, I think, the European Commission or somebody.
Yes. But do you know how many vaccine doses has the EU Commission ordered?
I think it was like, let me calculate, 8 or 7 per EU citizen and many billions, I would say.
Yes. There's directly from the European Commission's website. They ordered 4.6 billion doses. So it's over 10 doses for everyone. It's not 7 or 8. They from the start for every child to 90-year-old, every European person was supposed to have 10 doses of the COVID vaccine. And we were told that 2 doses is enough. So by what logic is the European Commission ordering 4.6 billion doses?
Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, exactly. Then we come to the side effects. This is the Finnish swine flu debacle from 2009. So if you remember, we were already made scared of the swine flu in 2009, and 2.7 million doses of the swine flu vaccine was administered. And this is the study what happened after it. So this is then like the outcome study of the vaccines. And then there was 253 serious adverse reactions from 2.7 million doses. And that was too much, and they stopped the vaccine. The vaccine was banned as too dangerous.
Now, was this from Finland?
Yeah, this is the Finnish swine flu vaccines.
So excuse me.
Yeah.
Is this really that in Finland they were vaccinating 2.7 million people already?
Yeah, yes.
Is that really?
Yeah, that
Because it means like then like almost everybody was getting it. Not really, but like 50%.
Yeah, 50% of the population took the swine flu vaccine. Yes.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, it doesn't matter that. But yeah, actually, good point that you said that this is not the doses, this is how many people were, but that was only one dose. It was not a 2-dose vaccine. Do you remember?
Yeah, I think it was only one.
No, what? It doesn't matter. Guess how many adverse reaction reports there are in Finland about the COVID vaccine?
You mean in female, like how many
Yeah.
have been made?
Yeah.
I think tens of thousands or 10,000 or more, something.
Yeah, so from 6.5 million doses, so this is not, the other one was 2.7 million persons, it says, but this is 6.5 million doses. And there were already almost 3,500 serious adverse reaction sorry. So from 3,500 adverse reaction reports, there were over 2,000 serious ones. So we are already 3 times the rate of the extremely dangerous and banned swine flu vaccine. But they made a trick. If we zoom out a bit of this picture, there are...
I checked out from the chat GPT, so yeah, over 50% in Finland were taking this swine flu vaccine.
Okay, yeah.
It was correct.
Yeah, there are over 10,000 adverse reaction reports that they have not read. So it's already 3 times more dangerous than the swine flu vaccine, but there are over 3 times there are 10,000 unread vaccination adverse reaction reports. And by then, we already had 110 people died from the vaccines, according to FIMEA.
Yeah, it's like it's the report which claims that they died from the vaccine.
Yeah, true.
I think then there is a different thing, even if it's really like officially confirmed it was the vaccine which was doing the killing.
Yeah, but the same I'm pretty much sure the same calculations were used in the swine flu vaccines. But
Yeah, and the excess mortality rate has been rising up a lot since the vaccine started here.
Yeah, but
So we don't, only God knows how many have been killed by the vaccine for real.
Yeah, the excess mortality is not in this presentation, but actually it is a small part. But let's continue. So the FIMEA, so the government body who is collecting all the reports of the adverse reactions, keeps tweeting and posting on Facebook that don't make any adverse reaction claims, that we don't want to collect. It says that don't make any vaccination adverse reaction claims if they are not serious or if they are listed in the adverse reactions papers. So the Finnish government's job is to collect how dangerous, how common the adverse reactions are, and they just keep tweeting out that don't report them. We don't want to collect how dangerous this vaccine is. The Australian government did it even more funnily. They just closed down the adverse reaction event system where you can post that you have adverse reactions from the vaccine. No adverse reactions here.
19 were reported to the bars. 203 vaccine deaths. In 2018, 119, and 27, 85. Since December of 2020 through April 23rd of 2021, 4 months, there have been reported 3,362 deaths for COVID vaccine. That's roughly 30 people a day dying from this vaccine, or one of them. Vaccine adverse event reporting system, VAERS, is is estimated by most people who follow it as being less than 1% of what actually happens. Compare the COVID vaccine to the mandated vaccine for bacterial meningitis. One person died between the time of 2007 and 2015 for that vaccine. Folks, this is not about vaccines in general. In the 4 months of 2021, we've had more COVID-19 experimental vaccine deaths than all the vaccine deaths for the 15-year period between 1997 and 2013.
Yeah, so they are the in USA, in the first 4 months, more people died from the COVID vaccine than all the other vaccines combined for 15 years. And that's also quite unimaginable.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
And this is from the UK's vaccination data. Unvaccinated ones, 250 unvaccinated people have died from COVID, and 400 who have received the 2 doses of the vaccine. So there you can also play with the numbers that, yeah, they were older, the ones who received the vaccine. But still, it looks quite funny that almost twice the size of the people who have had the full dose, the supposed full dose, have died than the unvaccinated ones. Then we come to this is again an update from 2023 that the US officially approved the vaccine with some conditions, that now it's not an emergency use authorization anymore, but some conditions apply, that you need to produce every 6 months a myocarditis and pericarditis like results. That every 6 months you need to produce how many people had a heart attack because of the vaccine. And you need to provide a post-approval safety study of pregnancy. And that you don't need to have any yearly reports. That you need to report actually very soon, in the end of this year, that how did it affect pregnancies. That's quite strange. That why do you need to have a safety study on pregnancy if you already know it's safe? And why do you need to produce it like 4 years after the vaccinations? Well, there was a Pfizer preliminary vaccine study on safety on pregnancy, where 82% of early pregnancies ended in death. So there were 827 participants and 140 babies died. But when you look at here, that 96 of the 104 were occurred on the first 13 weeks of digestion. So if you were in your early pregnancy and then you got the vaccination, you had 92% chance that the baby dies. So maybe that's the reason that the USA demanded a post-approval safety study on pregnancy. And also we saw that also by the BBC also reported mystery stillborn babies, that around 9 months after the vaccination started, so the ones who were early pregnant when they took the vaccine, in Scotland the stillbirth doubled. Then we come to the COVID restrictions, social distancing, masks, social distancing, closing shops. Was there any reason to do it? Again, we look from history. The swine flu guidance in Finland. No restrictions to normal life. Masks are not necessary. Social distancing is not necessary. And back to the Finnish government's official papers, they made a COVID mask study where they say that the use of masks against COVID is olematon. So what is
Like nothing, like nothing.
Yeah, nothing. The effect of masks use against COVID is nothing.
And hey,
The
by the
official-
way, let me ask from the swine flu thing,
Yeah,
how many cases, reported cases, were dying this swine flu in Finland?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
But it was also came out later that it's not any more deadly than the flu. But somehow these kind of masks work. Why is it? It's scaling it funnily. Yeah, social restriction. When you board the plane, you need to be far apart of each other, and then you sit right next to each other in the plane. By what logic?
Wow. Hear this. I check it out. 44 people died the swine flu in Finland 2009, 2010. 44. And that they had the laboratory confirmed H1N1 virus
Yeah.
infection. So, and a vast majority of these were of the risk groups like elderly people or with people with some other sicknesses.
Okay.
Unbelievable, unbelievable. And then they vaccinate almost 50% of the country. So how stupid people were going to take that vaccine and how the marketing was working out.
Yeah, we come to marketing very soon.
Yeah.
So the Finnish government, there was a news report when they tried to find out what was the reason for the 2 meter social distancing rules, and they said that there are no reason for the 2 meter social distancing rules. That's just invented. And that came also out in America that Fauci needed to. It's not in the report, but Fauci also needed to admit that there are no scientific reasons for the 2 meter social distancing rules. That's just
6 feet apart.
yeah, yeah, exactly. That it was just make believe. At this point, things start to look like they are manipulation tactics and not healthcare. But let's see the manipulation tactics. The first tactic is to intimidate. 3.4% will die. Be very scared. Doomsday variant is coming. Be very scared. Then flattery. If that doesn't work, then flattery. I will save grandma if I take the vaccine and follow all the rules of the mask and restrictions. I'm a good person. And then if that doesn't work, then bribery. McDonald's uses packaging to promote COVID-19 vaccines. If you're vaccinated, you get free boosts on dating websites like OkCupid and stuff. You get free donuts if you take the vaccine. You can win $1 million if you take the vaccine, and you get free beer if you take the vaccine. In Columbus City, they gave people $100 outright if they took the vaccine. And in West Virginia, you get free guns if you take the vaccine. And you get your prison sentence gets cut in half if you take the vaccine.
Where was that? Was that in Australia?
Irish son.
Oh my God.
Georgia Hall on Dawson counties. I
Really
guess this is in Ireland.
I have never seen such a stupid hole than this COVID scam is.
Yeah. The bribery is so astonishing that free guns, free burgers, free donuts, free from jail.
And in Finland, 4 million for the government officials or politicians, whatever, of high stake, who if they get a vaccine injury. So
Yeah.
that's kind of like
Yeah. And in Finland we got chocolate. In Finland it was not so comical.
and buckets, you know.
Sorry?
Mikä on ämpäri englanniksi?
Yeah, bucket. Yeah. It's
Bucket.
the
Yeah,
Finnish
yeah.
meme that all the Finnish people come and want free buckets when there are shops opening and the shop is giving free buckets. There is actually that's the Hanna Nohynek, the one of the THL heads, said in an
Yeah.
interview that we need to start giving out buckets. But
But she was wondering if this is gonna work for the people who are under 30 years of age. So
yeah. And then if that doesn't work, then threats. Benefits for only the vaccinated.
that's from Tel Aviv, Israel, reserved for vaccinated people only.
Yeah, exactly.
How stupid.
And this is very interesting Facebook post from Päijät-Sote. So the one of the Finnish healthcare districts, they are having a woman in jail that say take the vaccine. It's the only way out of the restrictions. And they are comparing unvaccinated to be in jail.
I think early next year we'll be in the phase of chasing up people who haven't come forward to get their vaccination or have missed their bookings and so on. So everyone will be able to get a vaccine between now and the end of the year. But of course, you know, and I want every New Zealander to come forward, but human behaviour suggests that there will be some people that we have to actually really go out and look for, and some of that may spill into next year. But our commitment is everyone will have the opportunity to get the vaccine by the end of the year. Everyone will, but I can't say that, you know, that we're not going to have some hesitant people or some people who just haven't come forward that we don't have to go out and find next year.
Yeah, then New Zealand, they will hunt down the unvaccinated ones.
Police powers have now been granted. Thousands will be deployed to shut down businesses, construction and public premises where anyone is caught breaking the rules. And now 300 military personnel will be brought in to assist.
It will take it to those businesses that are breaching the health orders, and it will take it back to the homes that are continuing to breach the health orders that are putting us into an extended lockdown.
New rules will also be enforced from 1 minute past midnight. The 8 local government areas will now be required to wear masks outdoors, and residents won't be allowed to go beyond a 5-kilometre limit of their house for shopping, exercise, and for those in singles bubbles.
Yeah, this is absolutely bonkers again, that in Australia you needed to tell the government who you are dating, and the date could not live 5 kilometers from you. And
the local government areas of concern,
I think
the 10-kilometre rule will come down to 5 kilometres. So you can obviously do activity within your local government area, but instead of 10 kilometres from your home, exercise means only exercise and supervision of children. So the word recreation will not leave any doubt. That word is taboo. New South.
Yeah, at some point it's talking about you get €5,000 fine. €5,000 fine for breaking the singles bubble. That if you go to your date is over 5 kilometers away, then you are fined €5,000.
We made vaccinations free, safe, and convenient. The vaccine is FDA approval. Over 200 million Americans have gotten at least one shot. We've been patient, but our patience is wearing thin.
That doesn't sound.
Refusal has cost all of us. So please do the right thing. But just don't take it from me. Listen to the voice.
Your refusal has caused all of this, and our patience is wearing thin. That doesn't sound like normal healthcare. Something else is going on. Why are they wanting us so much to be vaccinated? Yeah, this really looks like intentional manipulation of the masses. But we have actual Finnish government documents who directly said that this is intentional manipulation. There was the Finnish government's Operation Fox, where they started an official government's group against COVID-19 mass manipulation. So I think it's the next slide. Yeah, introduction to the utilization of behavioral data. That they they are talking of direct manipulation of the masses. That how we get people, how do we manipulate the people to take the mask, take the vaccine, use social distancing rules, and they have a big list that what needs, how do we manipulate the public to take the vaccines, and this manipulation needs to be so that people don't notice the manipulation. That's a very interesting admission from the free and open democratic Republic of Finland, that they in their open documents are talking about we need to manipulate the public so that they don't know that they are manipulated. And now is a good time to take behavior control as a tool for everyday government officials. So they know that they are using this public manipulation tactics now to more things than just COVID.
Täällä on paljon tehtävissä tämän rokotuskattavuuden lisäämiseksi ihan markkinoinnin ja propagandan keinoin.
There's Lasse Lehtonen, the Finnish capital's healthcare districts boss, explaining on TV that they are using market tactics and propaganda to manipulate the public to take the vaccines. And we should advance this further, the manipulation tactics. That's also in the Operation Fox manual, that social manipulation should be taken further, like we are in some Soviet Union or North Korea. And that's quite interesting admission related to my other presentation about the small side tangent. You remember the Aatos Erkko book that I probably showed you also the Aatos Erkko book. So really shortly for the English listeners, the Finnish biggest newspaper's owner made in his own memoirs an admission that there is a social group above all politics that controls the world's future in harmony. And we have quite a harmonical message about COVID in all the world's newspapers. And here also, if the government doesn't control the newspapers, how they are going to have mass manipulation tactics to the social distancing rules and stuff. So that's a bit of an admission that we don't have free newspapers if the government is able to manipulate people and the newspapers are not going to report on it, that it's targeted manipulation. Yeah, we were promised that when 80% are vaccinated, we will return to old normal. And then it changed that when we are 90% vaccinated, we will return to old normal. But funnily, already in the end of 2020, the Behavioral Science Advisory Board for the government said that we are not allowed, the normal everyday people are not allowed to believe that they could return to old normal, because it makes it harder to get used to the new normal. And have you heard of the new normal word or the phrase of new normal?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah, that all of the government officials, all of the world used the new normal phrase. And it's also in the behavioral sciences advisory board of the Finnish government.
There will be no return to the old normal for the foreseeable future. I repeat, there will be no return to the old normal for the foreseeable future.
So people assume we are just going back to the good old world which we had, and everything will be normal again in how we are used to normal, in the old fashion. This is, let's say, fiction. It will not happen.
A vaccine on its own will not end the pandemic. Surveillance will need to continue. People will still need to be tested, isolated, and cared for. Contacts will still need to be traced and quarantined. Communities will still need to be engaged.
Yeah, we are 15 months to the 3-week lockdown, and they are calling us the conspiracy theorists. So then we come almost at the end of the presentation. Was there any foreknowledge? You probably have seen the EU passport papers, but have you heard of Event 201?
Oh, yes, many times.
Yeah.
But the EU passport thing, I haven't heard.
Okay, interesting. So there was a John Hopkins Center for Health and Security with partnership of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, so Bill Gates, and World Economic Forum had in October 2019 a worldwide exercise between the governments. What happens? How do governments need to react if there is a coronavirus that spreads from animals to humans? A coronavirus pandemic. That's quite an interesting that 6 months before the actual corona pandemic, there was an exercise that let's exercise against the worldwide coronavirus pandemic.
It was only luck.
Yeah, exactly. Then we have Peter Daszak, one very important person, wrote in 2016 in National Academic Press that we need to increase public understanding of the need for an MCM, such as pan-influenza or pan-coronavirus vaccine. A key driver is the media, and the economics will follow the hype. We need to use that hype to our advantage to get to the real issues. Investors will respond if they see profit at the end of the process. So already by 2016, they were talking about we need to manipulate the media, that the media needs to manipulate the public to be receptive for a pan-corona vaccine and the need for it. So who is Peter Daszak then? Peter Daszak is the head of the head researcher of the origins of the virus, appointed by WHO. WHO. So quite interesting that he is looking for the origin of the virus, and already 3 years earlier he was saying that the media needs to manipulate the people to believe that we need the pan-corona vaccine. Then the vaccine passports. You said that you didn't know. That's very, very interesting. I thought, but so the EU Commission.
Oh yeah, you mean this one? Yeah, this I know. I was thinking about just the normal passport of Finland, like.
Okay, no.
Yeah, but this I know.
Passport. So in 2018, the European Union decided that around 2021, 2022, the vaccine passport will come into effect. That's, again, just happenstance. And
it's like, exactly.
Yeah. If you remember the voting situation when they voted against for the vaccine passports in Finland, the news said that when the vaccine passport is voted for, I think I don't have the news piece because it happened after this presentation was made, but I remember clearly that they voted that now the vaccine passport law comes to effect, and the vaccine passport started the same night. So all the infrastructure for the vaccine passport was made many months or years in advance, because you cannot take a vaccine passport into effect the same night that you make the law about it, because you need to develop it and you need to build the infrastructure for it. But before the law it was voted for, everything was ready. And that's just happenstance again. I don't know how that's explained, but all the vaccine passport infrastructure was ready by the time Finland voted for it. In summary, according to the Finnish government, there has never been a pandemic. There has never been any justification for any restrictions, but we still need to restrict normal life and use vaccine passports. The vaccines are unproven and experimental. They are dangerous and could create new pathogens. The vaccine can spread and poison the unvaccinated, but still everyone needs to be vaccinated by any means necessary. And people are not allowed to believe they could return to old normal. And this was all planned in advance. Thanks.
Yeah, and that was all like the Finnish government propaganda.
Yeah.
Wow.
There are actually a couple of bonus slides we can look through if you want.
Yeah, if you have some, yeah, please share. Please.
Yeah,
please.
so everyone was just fine with this. Well, there was hundreds of Finnish medical experts petitions to forbid the vaccinating of the children with the experimental mRNA vaccines. And have you heard of the Great Barrington Declaration?
Yeah, I signed it myself.
Okay, but did you see that when the Freedom of Information Act asked for Fauci's emails, Fauci and Peter Daszak talked in the emails that the public is not allowed to notice the Great Barrington Declaration. Have you heard about that case?
No, I haven't heard about that. No.
Okay, but yeah, that was also a very interesting case. But yeah, there's a worldwide declaration that the pandemic restrictions are bullshit, and there was total absolute censorship in the mainstream media about this. This is Berlin's COVID restriction protests in 2020.
I was there in that protest.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I was going with my car to Portugal. I drove all the way from Finland, and then I was meeting my friends from Berlin, German friends. I didn't know they're gonna have this kind of protest there, and there first came a news that it's cancelled, but then they came a news that it's gonna be arranged. So I was right there.
Okay, but this is also very interesting. But by this time, we were told that 3.4% of the infected will die. So this should have been produced a lot of people death, but it didn't have any effect on the hospitalization rates, as we saw.
Yeah. I remember John F. K. Jr. He was there.
Okay.
He was speaking.
And then England, they had also hundreds of thousands of people protesting the vaccine restrictions. And Greece had also hundreds of thousands of people protesting the restrictions. And France, people tried to fight it, but nothing happened. The propaganda was going on. And this was funny. The protest went to the BBC's HQ to shout, shame on you, and the BBC didn't report on it.
He's like, this is so sad and so funny at the same time.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I'm laughing, but
yeah. There are so many people at the BBC HQ.
Surprise.
Yeah. Some predictions. So the predictions are made in 2021. So the COVID passport will come. I was correct about it. And they will vaccinate the 6 months old. So this is the Finnish capital's healthcare district's advertisement for 6-month-olds to take the mRNA vaccine. So you can attend a study with your baby to take the mRNA vaccine. I think this didn't come through, or did it? Can you now get the vaccine for a 6-month-old?
I don't know.
Okay, but at least they
I hope not. I hope
yeah,
not.
but they tested for 6-month-old babies the vaccine. And you will need to renew the vaccine regularly. This definitely came through. And you are not allowed to enter shopping centers without the vaccination. So this became very real in Portugal, at least. In Portugal, there were many people stopped to go to shopping centers because they didn't have vaccine passport. But also in Finland, there were advertisements for COVID passport checkers for shopping centers. But I didn't see any of it happening here. There were ships that you couldn't attend without the COVID passport, but not luckily shopping centers. And this is definitely happening now because we get the digital euro end of this year. But already back then they were reporting that the vaccine passport could be tied to your bank card. That if you are not vaccinated, your bank card doesn't work. And this was all the tinfoil conspiracy theories back then, but the mainstream media reported that the infrastructure for it has been already built, that they prepared for it, but they couldn't introduce the digital euro back then. But now it's official that the digital euro is also at the end of this year it's coming. And there will be more variants. This was also quite good prediction that we had so many random bullshit variants. Be very scared. A new variant is coming out. And yeah, those were the bonus slides.
Wow. Well, thank you. And if you want to have anything to ask from Akseli, so you can
hit me up on Twitter. It's the best place.
Yeah, on X, Akseli Ratamo or Substack, you can find him.
Yeah.
And can you see my face right now?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not seeing mine at all, but it's okay. All right. Thank you. That's it. It's quite a lot of information for people to watch, and I think we will make this in Finnish as well.
Yeah.
So
how much of this was new to you? Or
I don't know if there was any specific exactly like new. Maybe this how they made in Germany
the hospital beds.
Hospital beds. That was maybe I don't remember. I have heard it before.
Okay, yeah. But you had heard about the Operation Fox, the Finnish government's manipulation group.
This you mean this document?
Se kettutyöryhmä.
I may have heard something. May have come across. Yeah.
But that's also so absolutely unbelievable document that let's manipulate the masses, and they are not allowed to notice the manipulation.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Okay, hey, let's close it here, and thank you guys, and spread this video around.
Yeah. Thanks.
Anywhere. All right. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.